Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Very
Yes,
good.
a good sunny day today.
It's a lovely sunny day here as well. We had snow last night, but it's
No,
beautiful now. It's really beautiful.
in Austria it's snow, it's good.
But we don't get much snow here. In Manchester, because we're low down, we don't get a lot of snow. Up on
Yes.
the other side of Manchester, up in the hills, they get lots of snow. But there we go. Anyway, we're here not to talk about snow. We want to talk about more exciting things than snow. We want to talk about something called The Road to Kharkiv.
Kharkiv, yes.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the book.
Oh, my book. Yeah.
That's the book which you have written in English, which I think is the most tremendous achievement. I mean, for somebody who speaks Russian first, some Ukrainian, learning German, and wrote a book in English, I think it's quite fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I want to tell you that I was shocked also. Because when I was writing this book, every time when I started doing that, I thought, Kate, in English, are you crazy? What are you doing? Yes, I understand your reaction. I had the same reaction.
No, it's wonderful. It's very hard to write a book in another language. And you've done such a wonderful job. It's incredible. I mean, it isn't as though you're even living. If you were living in England, it would be hard if it wasn't your first language. But for you, it's an amazing achievement. And maybe you'll be writing more books later on. I'm sure
I'm
you
sure.
will. And the thing with English, of course, is, I mean, I'm not running an advert for English, but English is, as more people speak English, except Chinese. I mean, it's the biggest language in the world. So
Some people are joking. They ask me, Kate, when will be your German book? I'm sorry.
yeah,
Give me some time, please.
yeah. But the German people generally like English. They like reading in English if they can,
I hope so.
if
Yeah.
they're capable of doing so. And a lot of them are.
Yeah.
It's usually their second language.
No, English is international language, and it was the first reason why I chose English, not German, not Ukrainian. Ukrainian language. No, at first I want to say about choosing the language for my writing. I thought that if I write it in Ukrainian language, so I will speak about the truth. I mean, Ukrainian war, yeah, and Ukrainian people know about it. It is not. Yeah, I didn't see the sense. But if I write it in English, so all the world could see our story, could see my story, yes, and it's international language. Because of that, I chose English, maybe. And the second reason, maybe it helped me to feel more confident living in Austria. When I came, I didn't have any skills in speaking German. No Ukrainian people, stress. And I thought, book. And it was a crazy dream, but now this crazy dream has come true.
Absolutely, definitely come true. So let's just going a bit more serious now and talking back to when you started, when you were living in Kharkiv, in your hometown, which is a beautiful city from what I've seen on the pictures, or it was anyway. And then, of course, Putin sent in his army, and all of a sudden your whole life changed. That must have been absolutely terrible.
You're right about these changes.
You put about this in the book. You wrote about this in the book.
Yeah, I tried to share my story with the whole world, yes. And I wanted to say about stages. The first stage was shock. When it was 24th of February, we woke up, yes, and everybody was shocked, especially my daughter, Annie. I wrote in my book, her reaction was unspeakably frightening, because she was sitting on the floor and she was praying, and crying and asking to be alive. So yeah, it's not
Oh,
it's not good for a little baby to do that.
of course
It,
not. It's terrible.
it's terrible, and it's tragedy for little children. Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, and yes, the first period of my road, it is of course shock. After shock, maybe it was like thinking how to survive, how to stay alive, how to protect my family. Yes, and it was period of hunger, period of fear. No, I mean, this is attack, every time attack. Yes, and we were sitting and waiting for some miracle, but miracle didn't come. And the third stage was this road. And this road seemed endless. One city, another city. So I couldn't understand when it would be the end of this road. Even now,
Of
this road,
course.
yes,
Because you're still
continues.
living in a strange land.
Yes, and I'm so tired of this moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but now it is maybe the fourth stage of my war, of our war. It is a period not just how to survive, how to start living again, to start living again from scratch, again starting our life and thinking about future of mine, my children's future, my husband's future, yes, even Ukraine's future. I'm
Of
doing my
course.
best to do something for Ukraine. Yeah, so this period is also hard, but maybe a bit more positive
Yeah.
than previous ones. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
really speaking, I mean, if a miracle happened and the Russians decided to stop start attacking Ukraine, it's not going to happen like that because there's too much politics involved. But if they did and suddenly the war ended, would you go straight back to Ukraine then?
When it was the first period of war, I didn't have any doubts. I was waiting for this moment. When it was 1 year, no, actually now at this moment, I'm hesitating when I will come back, because I'm not sure that the war will finish very soon.
No,
Looking at,
well, we don't know that. I think the war could go
yeah,
on a lot longer, unfortunately.
oh
Very
yes.
sadly.
Unfortunately, yeah, I can't predict the end. And even when the war finishes, I'm not sure that it's good period for my children to come back after the war, because again, it will be maybe some riots, maybe it will be dangerous for my children. Again, my children need education. So a lot of questions I should consider before coming back. Ukrainian people, they're waiting for me. They say, Kate, we
Yeah,
need you. You
yeah.
must come back. Yes. And I'm very happy that people are waiting for me. But now I'm trying my best to stay here. I'm
It's broken.
learning
Yeah,
German, and also surprised I can do a lot of things. Yeah.
yeah,
So something like that. Yeah.
yeah. So obviously, then, I mean, what one has to do always, if one can, if you have a positive attitude, and you have a superbly positive attitude, you have to make the best you can out of what you have. You know,
Yes.
like they say, if you can't do what you like, you have to like what you do.
You are right. Yes,
Yeah,
it's my principle, and
yeah,
I want to say more about it. This war, it is not like just trial for me. It like just pain, yes, and a lot of fear and cry. No, it's also exam for me, exam which was given by God. And when I focused on this, not just on crying, yeah, and suffering. When I focused on this side, I got a lot of things. I received a lot of precious things and goddess things, I don't know how to say, which I want to share with people. I focused on love, on faith, on sense of my life. And I suppose that just such trials can help us to be able to love, to be able to access our life, to be able to be happy, to access happiness. And now I want to share, to speak up around the world, how it is beautiful to live at this moment of your time. Yes, to see how many people around you, and they love you, and you must access this period. So when I was without anything, without money, without hope, with maybe I could die tomorrow, so all this stuff pushed me. Yes, and at this moment I was happy. At this moment I was looking at my kids and I thought, oh my God, I'm alive and they're alive.
Yeah.
And I love them and they love me. So it is what I want to keep with me every time, everywhere. Yes, and this can help me to endure and to go through all my trials. And I want to share with this is our possessions are just temporary.
This is what you explain in your book. You know,
yes,
this is your philosophy, which is a wonderful philosophy. It's a philosophy for life and for positivity, and it's very, very important. Because I mean, this book, I mean, I don't know how many other books have been written by Ukrainians who've been driven out of their homeland at the moment. I'm only aware of this one in English, and but this book really is worth buying, if only to get your philosophy from it, because your philosophy alone is of, apart from the historical record of what happened from a personal point of view, it's very, very, very important. But in Austria, the people are nice to you. They accept you as a refugee, and they're pleased to help you as a Ukrainian.
Yeah, Austrian people were very friendly. They gave me shelter, they gave me clothes, they gave me some food. Yeah, but actually we had different stages in Austria. Yes, and living in camp was not easy, but later and later we found possibilities to live better. Yes, and I want to say that I'm grateful. Reading my book, you will see this gratitude every time I see this love, even in dark time. Yes, I see love, and I have such a habit. This habit has been for 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years since the coronavirus.
Oh yeah, of course.
Time, yes.
Because I mean, we're just as we start coming out of coronavirus.
Yes, coronavirus.
Then Putin attacks you.
And at first coronavirus, after that Putin, and these period.
The Putin virus instead of the coronavirus. Can you hear me?
So I can hear you. And this habit is, I say thank you every day. I find the list of things which I want to say thank you every day without any exceptionals. And while I was and I am in Austria, I say thank you for each person who helped me. Yes, so they are wonderful. I want to say thank you. And Lionel, I want to say thank you to Austria itself, because I suppose that living in Austria provoked me to write this book.
Right.
I'm sure that it helped me. Yeah.
Because they were so welcoming.
Maybe, it was like a trigger. It was triggered to do that. So,
that's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing. Absolutely. Well, we are going to have to stop this interview in a few minutes, I think. Tell me just briefly, how are your children doing in school in Austria? Are they happy in school?
Yeah, they're extremely happy, but of course they're missing Ukraine. My daughter every time says, "Mommy, when will we come?" So yeah, so
When
like
will you? When will you go back to Ukraine? They miss Ukraine
yes.
so much. Yeah.
She asks these questions, yeah. And my son Misha, he's older one, and he, I think
He's
for him,
15. Is he 15?
he's 15, yeah.
Yeah.
And for him, it's also hard because he's shy and he doesn't have any friends, and he spends a lot of time alone.
That's
And
very difficult.
yes, and it's
That's
stress.
very hard. For a
For
boy of
Lev,
15,
yeah,
is he
yeah,
learning German?
it's a teenage period, yes, and
He
it's
can
stressful.
communicate with the other kids in the school? No.
No, actually, they're Austrian, most of them, so he doesn't have friends, unfortunately.
Are there no Ukrainian? Are there not many Ukrainians in your part of Austria?
Yes, but not his age, unfortunately.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
And
awful.
and the youngest one is okay because he didn't understand what was going on. So
No,
he
of
was
course, a
one.
baby. Yeah. The
He was
baby's
one.
2, yeah? The baby's 2?
When the war started, he was one, but now
Yeah,
he's two,
yeah,
and for him everything is fine, I suppose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, please God, I only hope I hope we soon have peace for everybody. I mean, for all the people in Ukraine who are still suffering, and for people who, like you, are refugees in strange lands, who are being very welcomed, but at the same time, it's very, very hard. And I do wish you every success in the future with everything you do. And I'm sure people will want to read this wonderful book, which is The Road from Kharkiv, and it's the most wonderful, wonderful story in English.
Yeah,
And
I want them to be happy after this book, after reading this book.
yeah,
Not
absolutely.
to be sad, please. You must be happy.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you,
And,
Lionel.
and all the way, I wish you all the very best for you and your family, for peace and for everything to go forward nicely for everybody. That is what we want. We want a world at peace. It's a long way away, but we hope for it.
Let it be. I believe in that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.